I'm not a royal watcher. I don't really pay attention to each other, and the love that they have is really, really moving, and I just wanted to do anything I could to support them. There's so much more she could have said, but because she's so—
It all went down in the middle of the night. No fancy press release, no polished Instagram statement, not even a single paparazzi tip-off. Out of nowhere, Prince Harry just slipped out of California like a ghost. A private jet, a small airport, one duffel bag, and that unmistakable look of a man on the edge. Destination? London. But here's the catch. No Meghan, no kids, not even the usual army of security. Just Harry, alone with his thoughts and whatever was left of his sanity. At first, Buckingham Palace said nothing. Total silence. But whispers spread like wildfire across the royal grapevine. He's back. He's holed up in some countryside estate. He's been making calls, and everyone was asking the same thing. Why?
I can only come to the UK safely if I'm invited. And, you know, there is a—
Because this time, he wasn't running from the royals, he was running back to them. The same man who'd spent years throwing public shade at his family in interviews, Netflix specials, and that bombshell memoir suddenly wanted nothing to do with California life. So what happened? What flipped the switch for the prince who torched every royal bridge he had? 2 words: Tyler Perry. Yep, the billionaire who once opened his private mansion, his jet, and his heart to Harry and Meghan when the world turned on them. The same man Meghan called her protector, rock, and savior in their darkest hour. That man just dropped a truth bomb so explosive, it's shaking everything the Sussexes built to the core.
It's 6 a.m. on the 14th of March, and we are—
Tyler Perry, the man who stepped in when everyone else turned away, had receipts. And once those came out, Harry started spiraling. Before we dive into what Perry exposed, let's clear something up. This man isn't some Hollywood attention seeker. He's not looking for drama. Tyler Perry is a businessman, and a smart one. The kind who knows that in Hollywood, loyalty is temporary and memory fades fast.
Imagine waking up to find your whole royal rebrand turned inside out. Every whisper, every private—
He's been burned before, and he learned the hard way that protection isn't paranoia, it's survival. You don't build an empire from nothing by being careless. You do it by being cautious, calculating, and aware that friends today might rewrite history tomorrow. So, when Harry and Meghan came knocking in 2020, desperate, exhausted, and basically exiled from royal life, Perry didn't just offer them his Beverly Hills mansion out of kindness. Sure, he helped them, no question. He gave them privacy when the whole world wanted a piece of them. He opened his home, his jet, his entire network, when half of Hollywood wanted nothing to do with the runaway royals. Think about it. These two had just walked away from the most famous family on earth. No home, no security plan, no idea where to land. They weren't just leaving royal life, they were escaping it. And Perry, he became their safe harbor, their literal lifeline. He was even made Lilibet's godfather. That's not a casual favor. That's family. He was in their Netflix documentary as the hero of their story. Meghan teared up calling him her rock. He gave them safety, credibility, and a place to breathe. But here's what Meghan and Harry didn't know. Perry wasn't naive.
For years, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have portrayed themselves as a power couple living a luxurious life in California.
While they lived in his home, Perry quietly kept track of everything, not out of malice, but out of experience. He's seen too many people twist the truth once fame's on the line, so he took notes, recordings, footage from their strategy sessions. He watched them plan interviews, rehearse answers, and brainstorm how to rebuild their image. This wasn't some secret spy setup. This was self-protection. Perry knew that one day, if things went south, he'd need the truth to defend himself.
Meghan's team started scrubbing Perry from their narrative. They triggered that clause, and suddenly, Tyler Perry had the legal right to—
He saw them cry, vent, and scheme. He watched as they shaped a brand out of their pain, and he kept every shred of it. Because in his world, loyalty without receipts is just exposure waiting to happen. And when Meghan began slowly rewriting history, acting like Perry's role in their lives didn't exist, she handed him everything he needed to protect himself.
Not shocked that Tyler Perry is the godfather for Meghan and Harry's daughter, Lilibet Diana. This man has been so kind to them.
That's when it started. Quietly, Perry's name started disappearing. One month he was Uncle Tyler, the next, poof, gone. No mentions in interviews, no posts, no acknowledgements. Even Lilibet's Wikipedia page was scrubbed of his name. This wasn't accidental. It was surgical, deliberate. Meghan's PR team wanted a cleaner story, and Tyler didn't fit it anymore. So they erased him.
Tyler Perry didn't just knock on Meghan Markle's door. He opened his mansion to her. When the royal escape plan was still fresh, when the Sussex
Photos archived, mentions deleted, a total blackout. The man who literally saved them was now too complicated for their brand, so they distanced themselves. Fast, clean break, total wipeout. To the public, it looked like nothing, just another celebrity friendship that fizzled. But to Perry, it was betrayal, the kind that burns deep, because he wasn't just a friend, he was their savior. He risked his name for them when everyone else turned away. He gave them his home, his trust, his reputation, and they erased him like he never existed. They turned his kindness into a footnote, but Perry, oh, he wasn't gonna let that slide. He didn't rant online, he didn't do interviews. He waited, patiently, and when he struck, he didn't miss.
Man, Tyler Perry, go ahead and start making that Prince Harry.
That's when the first tape dropped, just 58 seconds long, but it changed everything. An audio clip recorded inside Perry's house during their stay, and in it, Harry could be heard, laughing, relaxed, talking about palace life like it was no big deal. Totally different from the emotional wreck we saw on Oprah.
But Meghan Markle was in the Soho House environment entertaining the VIPs. Everybody knew about Meghan Markle.
The contrast was shocking. The Harry on the tape sounded carefree, not like the victim he later claimed to be. And then, you hear Meghan in the background, coaching him, literally telling him what to say and how to say it. You can hear her feeding lines, what emotions to show, what stories to highlight, which talking points to hit. It was all rehearsed. Every word, every tear from that Oprah interview, scripted. The raw honesty millions believed, it was stage direction. When people heard it, the illusion shattered. The audience that defended them for years suddenly felt played. Comment sections exploded. Fans turned skeptics overnight. If the Oprah interview was rehearsed, what else was fake? The Netflix doc? The book? Everything suddenly felt like performance. And that's when Harry did something no one expected. He bolted. In the middle of the night, no Meghan, no cameras, no PR team, just a one-way flight to London, the same place he once swore he'd never return to. The palace wouldn't confirm it, but insiders whispered, he's back, staying at a private countryside estate, away from the chaos, alone, reflecting. And everyone asked, was this the end of the Sussex fairy tale? And just when everyone thought it couldn't get any worse, the real chaos began. Because Harry's midnight trip to the UK wasn't just about escaping the noise, it was about escaping her. The tapes exposed cracks in the perfect image they had worked so hard to sell. For the first time in years, Harry was seeing everything from the outside, and he didn't like what he saw. The entire world was watching the collapse of the fairy tale couple. Social media exploded. Supporters who had once defended Meghan and Harry like warriors were now turning on them, asking the questions everyone else had been too scared to voice. If their biggest moments, the Oprah interview, the Netflix show, the truth-telling speeches were rehearsed, then what was real? And in the middle of all that, Tyler Perry wasn't done. Oh no, he was just warming up. Because what dropped next wasn't just another clip, it was the bombshell of all bombshells. A document, the strategic repositioning plan. 3 simple words that sent Meghan's PR machine into full meltdown mode. The paper Perry had kept tucked away for years outlined everything. The rebranding, the timeline, the press appearances, the media narrative, all of it. It wasn't a couple finding their footing after royal life, it was a business operation down to the last talking point. And right there at the bottom, Harry's and Meghan's signatures. The same people who claimed to be telling their truth had planned it all from day one. Every emotional reveal, every spontaneous confession, scheduled like a press tour. And Perry, he didn't go to TMZ. He didn't leak it to the tabloids. He simply let it slip to the right journalists, the ones who could read between the lines. That was all it took. Within hours, analysts were calling it the death of authenticity. Brand experts said it straight. You can't sell truth when you've been caught scripting it. Suddenly, the empire Meghan had spent years building started to crumble. Her carefully curated Instagram posts flooded with angry comments. Her upcoming lifestyle brand, DOA, dead on arrival. Even Hollywood started pulling back. Brand partners going silent, magazines passing on her pitches, editors politely declining opportunities. Everyone knew what that meant. No one wanted to touch the drama because when you build your entire empire on being real and the receipts show you were faking it, That's game over. Harry, meanwhile, was unraveling. Insiders whispered that he'd never been this quiet. No interviews, no statements, just long walks and private phone calls back in England. He wasn't angry anymore. He was haunted. Haunted by what he'd said about his family. Haunted by the realization that maybe, just maybe, he hadn't escaped control. He'd traded one handler for another. And Meghan, she was panicking. Absolutely panicking. Because Harry's silence was dangerous. Her entire narrative and their entire story relied on them being united. The second Harry started questioning things, the whole house of cards started to shake. Every speech, every interview, every accusation he made, all of it could now be reinterpreted. If he walked back even one word, it would unravel everything. Perry, on the other hand, was thriving, quiet, calm, controlled. He wasn't giving interviews or selling exclusives. He didn't need to. The proof had already spoken for him. He had shown just enough to make his point, and now everyone in Hollywood knew better than to cross him. He became a legend in silence, the man who helped, got betrayed, and then let the truth speak for itself. Meanwhile, Meghan's authenticity brand was collapsing in real time. Those glossy photo shoots, gone. The cozy podcast deals, canceled or on pause. The charity partnerships, quietly dissolving. It was over, and she knew it. He didn't scream, he didn't threaten, he just let the truth breathe. And while their world fell apart, his reputation grew stronger than ever. He was no longer just the mogul who helped Meghan and Harry. He was the man who documented history, quietly, meticulously, truthfully. Now comes the real question. What happens next? Because this isn't just about scandal, it's about consequences. Harry's facing the hardest decision of his life. Stay with Meghan and pretend everything's fine? Or walk away and rebuild the bridges he burned with his family? Neither path is easy. One means admitting he was wrong. The other means living a lie. Sources say he's torn. He's been in long private talks with people close to the palace, maybe even his father, but the damage he's done isn't easily erased. He's accused them of things you can't just fix with an apology. Entire reputations were dragged, books were written, documentaries filmed, and now, with Tyler Perry's evidence floating around, the royal family finally has something Harry and Meghan never did, credibility, and that's the twist of it all. The couple who built an empire on truth were undone by the one man who simply told it. Now Meghan's watching the empire she fought for crumble, one brand deal at a time. The image of strength and control is gone. What's left is silence. Hollywood's moved on. The public's lost interest. And Perry, he's the last man standing. Yeah, not because he shouted the loudest, but because he never had to shout at all. He kept the tapes, he kept the notes, he kept receipts, and in a world obsessed with narratives, the one who holds the truth always wins. In the end, it wasn't the tabloids, or the royals, or the critics that brought Meghan and Harry's story down. It was the proof. One man, one vault, and a lifetime of lessons about trust. Tyler Perry didn't ruin them. They did that themselves the moment they forgot who helped them when the world turned its back. And now, as Harry sits in that quiet countryside estate, the same thought probably echoes in his mind again and again. Maybe I didn't escape control. Maybe I just traded one version of it for another. And that, right there, is the biggest royal plot twist of them all.